Today we find out, is Bulletproof coffee actually good for you? Good morning to wherever you are. This is your Java Man, and today I've actually discovered, well, at least not today, but fairly recently, I discovered this coffee called Bulletproof coffee. Now, this was created by a guy named Dave Asprey, and this guy claims that the coffee we drink every day through production, it gains these toxins in the coffee, which when you drink it, you get that high from the caffeine, and then of course you crash. And he says that was kind of going on with him for a while, and then he had to stop drinking coffee. And then he found out, or I guess created this recipe called Bulletproof coffee. Now, what he claims with this recipe is that it helps with food cravings, helps with weight loss, it helps with mental clarity, and helps with focus. Sounds kind of similar like coffee, except like if you were to put like fiber or something like that in it. Now, how the recipe goes is you get this upgraded coffee that he makes without these toxins in it, and you grind it in, of course, in an even fashion and make it either in a French press or a pour over. And then you pour it into a preheated blender, add 2 tablespoons of unsalted grass-fed butter, and then pour on top of that this tablespoon of brain octane oil. And then when it's finished, he claims that it makes this super smooth latte kind of esque look to it, but it's super smooth and absolutely delicious and really good for you. Well, we're going to find out, is it actually really good for you? So what we're going to do is we're going to break down each ingredient and figure out what the health benefits, what are the negative health consequences of each ingredient, and figure out for ourselves if it's actually good for us. First one we're going to start with is coffee. And a little bit of, I guess, a self-promotion kind of kick. I made a video called Is Coffee Good For You? And I put it in the link in the description below if you want to go check it out. It's got a lot more information than I'm about to go over and some really good stuff. So I recommend checking that out if you want to kind of dig in more into the health benefits and I guess some of the health consequences of coffee. But some of the good things coffee can do, obviously with the caffeine, it's a stimulant. It helps with your focus, it helps with concentration, and really getting your mindset with it. Also, it can help prevent type 2 diabetes, and it can help prevent heart disease and different kind of heart problems. Some of the negatives of it, of course, is you get the jitteriness, the nervousness, the caffeine's running through your system and just messing with your nerves like crazy. Throw on top of that, it's kind of acidic. It'll cause some folks heartburn, and in some people it also could cause hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. Moving right along to this grass-fed unsalted butter. The unsalted part's good. It doesn't, cause the effects of the salt increasing your blood pressure, so that's a good thing. And then the grass-fed part, I say, well, what the heck's the help with grass-fed? What's the good thing about it other than it just sounding fancy and hipsterish? Well, it's actually got these omega-3s in it, which, as you know, there are good fats and bad fats. If you get fancy with it, it's called LDLs and HDLs. And these omega-3s are actually something called HDLs. They're the good lipids, the good fats that you get that help with like preventing heart disease and high cholesterol and that kind of thing. However, butter, if you look through the history of butter, it's got all sorts of fats, including saturated fats, which are some of those LDLs, some of those really bad fats that could actually increase your risk for heart disease and high cholesterol. So it kind of feels like a little yin-yang, good-bad mixture to it. Now, the last one is this brain octane oil, and I had no earthly idea what the heck it was. So I had to do some serious digging on it. What it has is something called C8-MCT oils. These are these different types of fats that are in coconut oil. And breaking that down even more, it's something called caprylic acid. Now, this actually seems to have some sort of health benefits. Through a lot of different studies I was kind of looking through on my super wizardry of Google searching, it could help with antifungal properties like yeast infections and that kind of thing. It could potentially help lower your risk for high cholesterol. And some studies, there were some studies saying against it, some for it, but it could also help lower your blood pressure. Now, with this being a fat, it's got some kind of negative properties to it. When it hits your stomach, it could cause constipation, diarrhea, it gets you nauseous, and I mean, if you think about it, you're taking a shot of liquid fat. I mean, if you did that with anything else, heck, it would make me nauseous. I don't know about you, but it'd make me a little bit queasy in my stomach. So, kind of tying it all in together, is it really good for you? Well, it depends. Coffee and this grass-fed butter and this brain octane oil seem to have a lot of good things going for it. At the same time, you've got to keep into consideration some of the negative properties. The high blood pressure coffee could potentially give you, the nervousness, the jitters, and now it does claim that it kind of soothes those nerves and jitters with the fats, and it may be. I haven't tried it personally, and I might actually have to try this at some point. But at the same time, you have to keep in consideration butter. It's not really good for you as much as you want it to be and as much as I want it to be. And trust me, living in the South, I want butter to be good for me. But considering, you gotta also know that butter's not the most healthiest thing for you. But this brain octane oil seems to have a lot of good stuff going for it, and it seems to have some merit to it. So comment down below what you think. Do you think, knowing these pros and knowing these cons, is this good for you? Is this Bulletproof coffee, do you think, good for you? Leave a comment down below. I'm interested to see what you think about it. And if you liked this video, please throw it a like. You'd probably be my favorite person this week if you did. And if you're a nerd like me and love this kind of brain-twisting, good or bad, medical kind of stuff, share it with those buddies who are weird like you that like this kind of thing. And don't forget to go brew up some love for somebody.